So I'm scrolling through my network, or the various networks that I use to promote my brand and to, um, you know, engage with the world. And I recently saw this post about Candice Beret. Now, I've never met the woman. I don't know her personally, but from what I've seen in public figures and public forums, that she's very Christian, and that's fine. That's all fine and dandy. You can be um, a God fearing, Bible thumping Christian. All right, that's perfectly fine with me. At the end of the day, though, when judgment comes, you will have to deal with the one and only God. That is my biggest pet peeve with the whole um, religion, is that people seem to think that you can hide behind religion, be ignorant, and can say and do whatever you want, because if you claim that you love God and you're spreading his message in his word, yet you're using it as gravy to cover up the real meat of your hatred and ignorance and um, fakeness. That's just how it is. And it's sad. A lot of these celebrities, because they have celebrity clout, unfortunately, people listen to. And then you throw in that she's a phony Christian, then that just makes it all the more worse. There is one God. I know in this world that we live in, each church has its own domination and each church has its own rules. At the end of the day, all your rules ain't going to matter. There's one God, and there will always be one God. Not yours, not mine, not our version, but the one version that loves. I don't care what your stance is on homosexuality. I don't care what your stance is on abortion. I really don't care. What I do care is when you use false covers and false persona to take a group of people and segregate them and act like they don't matter. It is now 2022. Okay, we don't live in the Stone Ages. And what you must remember is that you don't get to pick and choose what you want from the Bible. Because when truth be told, the Bible will support ignorance or love. Because it does relate to 2020. But you also have to remember what the Bible was, when it was written, the times that it was written in, and the moment that those words were written. The fundamental base of God's love and God's teachings is that you have a judgment day with God. You have a judgment day with him and you, nobody else. So for Candice Beret to come out and, for me to see rumors that she's going to start her own channel and her own, where there's no gays in traditional marriage. Hate to tell you, Candice, but in the real world, gay people and marriage exist. And it can be just as traditional as a straight couple. And at the end of the day, you don't get to decide what values and what God has for each and every one of us. Again, I'm a very faithful person. I believe in God. I trust in God. I don't trust in many gods and the different versions of God. What I do is I trust in God. And I read his Bible and I read his word. And I know that in his word, just as it was written back then, can be applied today. But the one thing that irritates me more than anything is when somebody sits there and takes the Bible and uses it to support one side or the other. At the end of the day, don't call yourself a Christian. Throw Bible at a section of humanity because it doesn't fit your ideology, and then say that you're a true Christian or that you love God. Because the God that I know, which is the God that's universal, he will judge and you will have a judgment day 1-to-1. So it really burns my ass that if that's true, that what I saw, because like I said, I only saw little pieces, and I know that a lot of times the news and our society will only report and show stuff that fits what they're trying to do. So if they have an agenda to push a button, which they obviously pushed mine, or to push, or to go on a side more than the other side, then they've accomplished that. But for her to put her own channel in no gays, I'm sure her channel will flop, because probably a majority of the people that watch Hallmark and Hallmark movies are homos. Okay? They're homos. Do you think Hallmark makes it just based on straight people watching it or straight people viewing it? I don't think so, Candice. I do believe that probably half of the people that watch it are gay. Because gay people understand tolerance and acceptance. You don't have to like what I do. You don't have to approve what I do. At the end of the day, what I do behind closed doors, or what two people, whether it's man or woman, do behind closed doors, is between two consenting adults. And if you're a true Christian, you don't have to like something somebody does. But God does teach you to love the person. At the end of the day, we're all human. And you, my darling, are far from perfect. And to be a little tacky, go to acting school, because you really aren't that good. So, on that note, I'm going to go do whatever and chill, because you've wasted enough of my time.